Hey guys, welcome to Star Sign Horoscopes. I am your astrologer, Jamie Magee, and today we are going to be taking a look at the astrology for June 3rd through the 9th. I do hope you guys are having a great week out there. Thank you so much for tuning in. It definitely means a lot to me. Okay, so let's talk about the week ahead. Now, we do not have a lot of transits this week, but I do feel like these are always the weeks that sort of sneak up on us or catch us a little bit off guard. It's kind of like that phase right after a big party or a big event or the end of the season. When you're in that cleanup stage, packing up, looking back so you can look ahead, it's where our emotions, our revelations, our ideas, our lessons all kind of collide in at once. And we find that we either have to take the information that we have now and go back and revise something, or take the information we have now and run forward. If not, do both of those things at the same time. So, depending on how your party went, this week could feel mild or tense or a little bit of both, depending on what day. All right, so let's talk about why. All right, so this week we have Mercury, who is going to move forward. He's going to station direct. Now, anytime Mercury goes backwards or forwards, to me, it always reminds me of a train shifting tracks. It's a little bumpy, it's a little chaotic, but once you start flowing, everything, unfolds the way it should. We just have to get through that bumpy little bit of communication or that little bit of a chaotic feeling as it moves directions. So kind of be on the lookout for that. And this week we also have Saturn, the time master, stationing retrograde, which is the opposite of what Mercury is going to do. So we have forward motion and now we have retrograde motion. Now, Saturn is going to ask you to pause and reflect and think back on actions that you've taken around a particular story that you began in February. He wants you to fortify these things. He wants you to make sure that they are timeless, that they're going to support you in the short term and the long term. Now, this story is something that you're going to work on until October. That's when you're going to be ready to relaunch it. So the urgency is not there, but what could feel frustrating is it's almost like a stall, like everything seems to stop around this story. But knowing that it's stalling so you can go back and revise it and benefit yourself in the long run should be helpful. So I want you to keep that in mind if anything feels like the brakes are hit and you can't go forward anymore. The question is, how can you go forward in the coming months? How can you make yourself stronger to do that? Now, this week, we also have the quarter moon. Now, the quarter moon is that space between the new moon, where we set intentions, and the full moon, where we start to see the blossoms and the blooms of the intentions that we set. Now, the quarter moon always reminds us of why we wanted to set those intentions and those goals, the goals that we set with the new moon. Now, sometimes this can come with tension, like, you know what? This is why I'm doing this. I can't handle it anymore. This needs to change so everyone feels more comfortable. Sometimes it can come with motivation or inspiration. Either way, the reminder is there for you to pick up those goals and run with them. You don't want them to deflate. You don't want them to disappear. You want to take action when you see the opportunity to work with them this week. All right, guys, with that being said, let's get ready to dive into the signs and talk about how you can work with this energy. Now, please remember to listen to both your sun sign and your rising sign to get a better overall view of how you can work with it. All right, guys, let's get started. Okay, Gemini, let's take a look at your week. Now, Gemini, your top three focuses for this week are going to be one, pausing and planning how you can restructure some plans that you made at the beginning of the year around communicating to a broader audience. There's some restructuring that needs to be done there. Two, gearing up to move forward on projects or things that you've kept behind the scenes or undercover, kind of private. And three, working through some tensions or obstacles around goals that were set last week that are really kind of hitting close to home for you. So let's talk about why. Okay, so you have a lot of growth and drive around your dreams currently right now. And because you do, you may feel that it's time to go back and revise plans now that you have new opportunities. Like you made plans at the beginning of the year with the boundaries you had then. Now your boundaries have expanded. So there's definitely an opportunity to reach more people, and you want to consider how you can do that. Now, this pause that you're working with is going to definitely help you get to that larger audience. You just have to work with it in a very optimistic way and not feel frustrated if you're having to go back and relearn something or like figure out how you can share something in a different way. By October, you're definitely going to be ready to move forward in a really, really big and broad way. Okay, so speaking of revisions, you've had a lot of back and forth energy with something, a project, it could be a person, place, or thing behind the scenes. Now, this week, you're going to feel like, okay, I am ready to move forward with this, and or find opportunities to where you can start to integrate whatever you've been doing behind the scenes. Because there's been some lessons, there's been some reasons that you've held back and redone some things. This week, you're ready to say, okay, well, I have the missing piece. Let's process it. Let's get everything ready to go so I can share it very shortly with the world. Now, last week, you also set intentions around your overall vitality, your sense of purpose, those partnerships, that home work life balance. And even though you have this behind the scenes ideas and actions going on, this week, you're definitely going to be motivated to take action on these goals. Now, because this is happening in such an out loud public area of your life, those challenges could be a little bit more present or a little bit more motivated for you. I think that this push that you're going to be feeling this week is definitely going to be coming from somewhere close to home. There could be some tension at home that's saying, you know what, I need to reprioritize some things so I can be sure that I feel really secure in who I am, who I'm partnering with, and how I'm known in the world overall. Now, Gemini, I think that there's a lot of positive energy that's going to help you make the right choices this week. But there's also going to be a little bit of compromise. So keep that in mind. It's not going to be like, you know what, this is my goal and everyone needs to get in line and follow it. There's going to be a little bit of give and take, but as long as you're willing to do that, and I think that you are, you're going to have a good week. And I do look forward to seeing you next time.